Hello, and welcome to the first official episode of Piedmonsters, the Piedmont Pilot podcast, brought to you by your Piedmont Master Executive Council. I'm your host, Megan Johnson, member of the Communications Committee and Piedmont First Officer. Today, we're bringing you an interview with the members of your MEC, Kim, Ryan, Rick, and Jenny. But before we get started, I have a couple quick notes. First of all, thank you for being here, and we hope that you will subscribe to our channel wherever you get your podcasts, including Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. We would also love for you to follow us at our new MEC Instagram account at Piedmont Pilots. And lastly, if you have any comments, thoughts, feedback, questions, or suggestions for the podcast, please email us at pdtpodcast@alpa.org. Now, with all that said, let's move into our interview with your Master Executive Council. This is Piedmonsters, the Piedmont Pilot podcast. I'm your host, Megan Johnson, and I am joined today by our Piedmont MEC, which is your Master Executive Council, for those that are not aware. We've got MEC Chair Kim Gott, Vice Chair Ryan Higgins, Executive Admin Jenny Weatherman, and Secretary Treasurer Rick Meyer. Thank you all for being here.
Thanks for having us.
So we are going to jump right in with some of the pressing questions. Let the people know who you guys are, what you do, and how you can help them and they can help you. So the first question is just quick introductions, your name, your role, and how long you've been with Piedmont. Kim, we can start with you, Madam Chair.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Guy. I am the MEC Chair. I've been with Piedmont just over 5 years.
Rick?
Hi, Rick Meyer, Secretary Treasurer. Been with Piedmont coming up on 2 years now. Direct entry captain. Right now, I am a flight instructor offline.
Excellent.
My name is Ryan Higgins. I'm the Vice Chair, and I've been with Piedmont just a little over 2 years.
And last but very certainly not least, Miss Jenny.
Yeah, so my name is Jenny Weatherman. I am the Executive Administrator for the MEC, and I've been here for about a year and a half.
Excellent. Well, thank you all very much. The real reason we're here is to learn more about the MEC and what you guys are doing with our pilot union. And so I'd like to hear from each of you how you became involved with Union, ALPA, and then your journey to becoming part of the MEC we have now.
So I was voluntold by Justin Cunningham. There was nobody running for the FO rep in Philly, 3 years ago, whenever it was. And I was voluntold that I should do it. And so I did. And I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I never had any union experience, had never even been on a committee, ran to be the first officer representative in Philly, fell in love with the work, and have worked from there to become the vice chair. And then from the vice chair, I'm now the chair.
And we are very happy to have you. Thank you for the work that you do. Ryan, our current vice chair, tell us about your journey.
I was also kind of told. I was at dinner with my dad, and I got a phone call. It was like, hey, you should sign up to run for vice chair or for a FO rep in Philly. And, I put in my willingness to serve, and I was the only one on the ballot, so I felt like I should win. So now then I kind of blossomed from there. Didn't really know exactly what I was getting myself into, but it's been a great experience. And once Justin Barnes moved on as our past chairman and Kim left the vice chair spot, I ended up taking the vice chair spot. So here I am today.
Sounds good. So far we have a little bit of musical chairs from Philly FO rep to vice chair to then chair.
Yeah, so if you want to be in the MEC, you should probably be the Philly FO rep.
All right. Rick or Jenny, who wants to go next?
Okay. So like everyone else, I was kind of voluntold as well. I flew with Kim and a couple of other union reps or committee chairmen as well. And everyone told me to get involved, and I basically waited until I was eligible And I grew up in a very pro-union household, and so I have kind of all that pushing me forward and wanting to get involved in. So basically, I was just voluntold, and I thought it would be a good fit, so here we are.
And Rick?
Yeah, so I came from a previous airline. I was flying out of Houston, and I spent a good 10 years plus before I got involved in the union. But I had kids and kept telling myself that, I was really busy. And of course, I was busy. I had kids. But I had a sense that I was coasting on the work of other people, that there was a lot getting done that I wasn't playing a part in. So when I was finally asked to be on the scheduling committee over there, I was kind of primed to say yes, I need to do my part. So I've been now doing ALPA work for quite a number of years, but that was it. I was feeling like I needed to do more to carry my own weight within the group.
Well, it is much appreciated. All right, so that is how everyone got involved in ALPA originally, and now with the MEC. Can you guys tell us a little about what it is that the MEC actually does?
I like to look at my position as like the master organizer. So a lot of what I do goes into making sure that everything's running smoothly. I do a lot of communications with the company, a lot of work with national. Right now, we're in the middle of rebuilding our committees. A lot of the turnover from the last 2 years really took a big hit on our volunteers, unfortunately. So we've been working with Jenny, and Jenny's been coordinating with national. So just kind of being the behind the scenes of like, hey, like take this and go this direction with it is more or less what I do. And then of course interfacing with the company, and taking a lot of the complaints that the pilots have. I'll take them to the company, and I'm the one that says, hey, this is a problem that we're seeing, and this is how we feel about it, and this is why.
So, like you said, the MEC is kind of really organizing. So there's all of our different committees, different committee chairs, and the MEC kind of helps manage all of that and funnel that information back and forth between the company and ALPA and the individual pilot. So
Correct.
a lot of management, a lot of logistics and organization and planning.
And teamwork.
And teamwork, yes. Which brings me to my next question. So since part of the main role of the MEC is kind of managing communications between each individual committees, are there any committees right now that you think are top priority or that need additional help if any of our listeners are thinking about getting involved?
I'm going to defer to Jenny because she's the one who has been tracking that right now, and she is the one who has been really the organizer and keeper of that list.
Yeah. So, basically right now there's a couple of committees that obviously are not as flashy or draw as much attention as some of the other ones like membership or mentor, grievance, that kind of stuff. So if you're ever interested really in like government affairs, flight security, accident investigation, ATC, those are normally the pretty big ones that they've had a lot of turnover, and we're kind of still rebuilding those for the most part. But right now we're also rebuilding like the mentor program as well. So eventually we're going to need probably some more volunteers. And if you have had a great experience, or if you want to pass on a lot of knowledge to the next pilot group or the next pilots coming through here at Piedmont, that would be a great start, especially getting your foot in the door with committees here. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, it's every committee. We normally could take about 1, maybe 2 volunteer per committee right now. It's just trying to figure out where everyone best fits and getting everyone trained up right now. That kind of seems to be a little bit of the hiccup. But as soon as that's all taken care of, then everything's going to be going off like gangbusters.
Understandable. And thank you for that. And thank you for keeping track of everything. I know that it is not an easy task, and there are many, many moving parts. And as you mentioned, with turnover over the last couple of years, especially, it's been a challenge to keep all of the committees staffed with volunteers the way that they need to be. And so we're hoping that that kind of evens out a little bit moving forward and makes things a little bit more of a pleasant experience, both for the MEC managing all of that and also for our pilots to have consistent points of contact and knowledgeable contacts that they can go to for each committee. Again, kind of piggybacking off of what we were just talking about, what are some of the top priorities this year for the MEC as an MEC and also kind of managing through the committees? What are the things that you guys are really, really focusing your time and efforts on for the rest of 2024?
The rebuild's taking the highest priority because my biggest fear is that the floodgates will open again and we won't have the capacity to be able to rebuild during a high hiring environment. So for the rest of the year, we are really focusing on the staffing of our committees and the training of our committees.
Yeah, I would jump in with regards to the training. None of us knew anything before we started. ALPA
Some of us still don't know
training.
Anything.
and there you go. And you start running forward and pedal as fast as you can, and you just try and keep up. And that's a lot of life. So don't feel like you need to have a special skill in something. We ask on the forums because we're interested to know if there's anything special. But please sign up, join up.
I knew nothing about hosting a podcast until I was handed a microphone and told to host a podcast.
And here you are.
We're all learning on the fly. We're all doing the best we can.
Exactly. We'll also reach out to the committee chairs. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Reach out to the committee chairs. Reach out to any of us as well to help guide you into whatever position or whatever committee you want to join, or we want to make sure everyone's involved that wants to be involved.
Yes. And the more individuals who get involved, the less work there is for the people who are working to do. And it kind of makes a more pleasant environment for everybody involved if we all work together as a team.
And you can't let not knowing anything scare you away. I was literally the FO rep and did not even know what MEC or LEC stood for.
It's Master Executive Council, everybody. Master Executive Council. And LEC is Local Executive Council. To clear that one up for the listeners.
We just need volunteers. We will teach you everything you need to know.
That's right. So I feel like we kind of just covered this, but is there anything else that you wish more of our pilots understood about the union and how it works and the work that you're doing?
I hear that ALPA is the big national thing. There's a Delta pilot who's the president, and how can a union represent regional pilots and major airline pilots and all that? You need to understand that all the decisions about Piedmont things are being made by Piedmont pilots, that it's Kim who's leading the way and getting these things done, getting negotiations done. There's a lot of support being provided by the Big ALPA National. When we go to negotiations, we've got an attorney showing up from ALPA. We have administrative support, all the emails and all this podcast and the training that Megan received to do this podcast is all coming from ALPA, but it is not being dictated. Kim is not receiving phone calls from ALPA. I'm hoping she will nod her head, but she's not receiving phone calls from ALPA saying, Kim, we need you to do this, and Kim, we need you to do that. She tells them what we need and where we want to go. So it's a very local company, MEC-run organization.
Yes. ALPA Nationals is a great support system for us, for our pilot group. They provide a lot of really great resources, but yes, the work is being done internally by your Piedmont pilot representatives. Well, thank you for that. I think that wraps up the serious portion of the interview. Appreciate your insight, appreciate the information, appreciate you all having time, but I have some fun questions before we leave. Getting down to the important things. I would like everyone to answer, what is your favorite overnight?
Wilmington and Montgomery are my two favorites.
You're having yourself quite a week then.
I am. Montgomery tonight and Wilmington tomorrow night.
Living everyone's dream.
Some days it works out, yes.
Jenny?
I think Mobile is probably one of my top favorites, especially when you get kind of there earlier in the day. You can go walk to Costco, grab a hot dog, and then go to Topgolf and take out some of your frustrations on the golf balls a little bit.
That is a great day.
And I'm trying to think. I think that's probably my top one. Every time I see Mobile on my schedule, I get pretty happy. So
excellent. I do think all of those that have been mentioned so far are pretty popular.
I enjoy Montgomery, but I settled out of reserve in Philadelphia, and I don't want to spend any more time in Philadelphia necessarily anymore, but I still miss Monaghan's. I still miss walking down to Monaghan's.
All right, and Kim?
So, since we don't have Ithaca anymore, because that was 10 out of 10 my favorite overnight, I will take Fort Wayne because I can go kayaking.
Ooh.
And they also have like this outdoor concert area where they do live concerts. So, I would
Fort
go
Wayne
with
also has good hot dogs.
and breakfast.
Jenny, I
Yes.
love your commitment to hot dogs. I also am a big hot dog fan, big aficionado,
I'm a hot dog girly.
especially in the summer. A baseball game and a hot dog is like the best. That's how I rank overnights, is if there's a baseball team close by.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think I drag every FO with me to, if we're in Fort Wayne, to the Fort Wayne Coney Island hot dog place, or I'll make them go to Costco with me in Mobile to get hot dogs.
Now they have a Slammin' ice cream place.
Ooh.
They do, right?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Fort
Yep.
Wayne
Well,
also
it's
has
right next to this. It's right
Fort
next
Wayne
to it,
also
isn't
has a
it?
baseball team, the Tin Caps.
Mm.
I don't do sports.
We're going to watch Montgomery play baseball tonight. So
The Biscuits.
the Biscuits, exactly.
I have not made it to a Biscuits game yet. It is high on the list. All right. So speaking of hot dogs, what is everyone's favorite flight bag snack? What are you keeping in the flight deck for when you get a little need for a nibble?
Beef jerky.
High protein. Very important.
I have those like squeezable, they're like baby food alphas, or the applesauce packets.
Ooh.
They're not
Okay.
like baby food, but they're very much for toddlers. But they're like great for a little sugar kick.
Yeah, we're getting our fruits and vegetables. Very healthy.
You know, it's good.
You would
Gentlemen?
love my house.
Kind bars, dark chocolate nuts and sea salt.
Very
Stacks
popular
of
one.
those.
That's a good one. I'm going to go on a limb here. I like dates, like dried dates, because
Dates?
Ooh.
you can put them in your bag. They don't get smashed. It doesn't matter if they
Mm-mm.
get smashed. They're super high in natural sugar, and they're fantastic.
All
Have you
right.
tried like putting peanut butter in them and dark chocolate on the outside
No,
of
I've
them?
never tried that.
I will take those in my flight bag too, and I like home make them. I make them with like coconut oil and everything.
Oh,
Sounds good.
this is a gourmet
Would
snack
recommend.
experience with Jenny.
Well, you know, we go from hot dogs to chocolate covered dates. You know, there's a
Like,
range here.
I am fancy and also hot dogs. I love that.
Yeah,
all right,
awesome.
last question, and then I will set you free. Originating flights or terminating flights?
Originating.
Originating.
In the
Wait, are we talking
summertime,
summer or
in
winter?
the summertime, exactly.
Oh, wait, yeah.
Oh, well,
Originating in
if the
summer.
answers are different, you can give two
Terminating.
answers. I'll allow it.
Terminating in the winter, originating in the summer.
Okay.
Hands down.
Originating, get me up and fly me.
Yeah.
All right.
No. Well, we don't really have winter weather here in Charlotte. It's originating. Start
Okay.
normally just from the beginning.
Wow, a bunch of early
See,
birds.
and this is why when I was flying the line full time, you would see me in the wintertime in Charlotte a whole lot because I'd find all the lines that did Charlotte flying. And then in the summertime, you see me flying the Philly stuff.
That's fair, because I
Smart.
very much avoided most of the winter excitement this past winter. Actually, I lied. I had one more question for you guys. How does your union responsibilities kind of mesh with your line flying, and how do you kind of balance those things, or in Rick's case, instructing? How does that work as far as like scheduling and how we make it all happen?
Well, I'll go on this one. So I hear it a lot, at least. A lot of people say, I don't have the time to do union work because they're doing busy schedules. They have, family, kids, and like Rick had touched on a little bit, and I personally, my phone does ring a good bit. Being the past FO rep, I still get FOs calling. I still get that. And it's just a matter of people leave a message if they have something they need help with, and you give them a call back. I mean, it's not really a set time of day that I do union work. I just kind of fit it in and make phone calls, and everybody's understanding, of everybody's timeline. So it doesn't really seem tiring to do it or anything.
If they reach a certain level, like Kim's level, it just fits into the cracks in your day.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit here, a little bit there, and it takes away from your Netflix time. But otherwise, it's sort of a hobby.
Yeah, I think that's
That
probably
makes
one of the primary misconceptions that I hear from a lot of people, that they don't realize that almost all of your union representatives are full-time line pilots. They're flying their full schedule, and anything that they do with the union is on top of that. So it is all strictly volunteer, but especially when you get those long overnights and whatnot, you're able to kind of fit it in ways that hopefully doesn't impact your life in too great a way, and you can still get quite a bit done.
I mean, it's true. You really kind of just fit it in, especially once I get done with the trip or done with the flight. I turn my phone on to check anyways, see if I have any messages from the company, any messages from my husband or whatever. And normally I'll check my email just to see if there's anything I need to immediately respond to, or if I can wait till I get to the overnight or wait till the next day. And so
I know for me, when I was flying the line full time, I am a person that needs to stay busy. I think for me, it gave me an outlet to feel like I was doing something and I was being productive, and I love helping people. So the fact that I was able to help people, it's satisfying for me in a way.
Yeah, I very much agree with that, because also, we talked about favorite overnights, but we also have a lot of overnights where there's not always a ton to do outside or near the hotel. And so pick up a project, take on a hobby and help your union. And now you have something to do on those long overnights that maybe don't have exciting activities out and nearby.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah.
We have more dead time than we acknowledge generally.
That's how the NBC chair life works. Except for sometimes we don't get the weekend either.
Oof, yeah. Yeah. You work the hard. It's got lots of emails and calls. You all do. And like I said before, your work is very much appreciated. We couldn't do it without you. And we are grateful for the time that you take outside of your full-time jobs and family commitments and other things that you want to be doing with your time, to find time in your day to do things like this, so that we can introduce you guys to our pilots and they can know a little bit more about you and hopefully know more about the MEC and what we're doing, and hopefully choose to get involved. Is there anything else you guys want to say before we sign off? Excellent. Thank you all very much for your time. This has been Piedmonsters, the Piedmont Pilot Podcast. We hope to see you again soon.
Thank you.
Thanks, Megan.
Thank you, guys.
Once again, thank you to Kim, Ryan, Rick, and Jenny for taking the time to join us for that interview. And thank you for taking the time to listen to the first episode of Piedmonsters.